you a CFI?
Yeah, as well.
Oh, good.
Did you already do that? Did you already send me that? I'm sorry. The bullet points for the chief of staff.
What's wrong with
behavioral health. Oh.
All right, let's call this August 2nd, 2022 meeting of the Civil Aviation Board to order. Ms. Vicki, will you help us with the roll call?
Member Martinez? Member Elbis?
Present.
Vice Chairman Leslie?
Here.
Mayor Morris?
Here.
Chairman Curtis?
Here.
And Member Verdal.
All right, has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? If so, do I have a motion for approval?
I move for approval.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the meetings from the July 5th meeting, and now we'll move into the airport director's report.
Good evening, members, chairman, and members. That's what it is. To give you an update on some of the projects we got going out at the airport, we'll start off with the airport fencing project, which started January 17th. It's still an ongoing project due to some material issues and back orders on some materials. 98% of the fencing is complete. We're still waiting on the install of the gate openers and the hardware to install those. Right now they're getting together with IT to get our access control systems, the correct things to install that on the gates. Still have no real completion date set. It's just materials and man time that we got to get together.
James, did they bury chain link down underneath the fence to keep animals from digging through? Is that what that?
Yes, there's 4 feet of buried wildlife fencing or skirting. That's what they call it. Skirting under the fence.
Okay.
So that'll keep burrowing animals out.
Wow, that's great.
The next is the runway 1230 PAPI lighting project. Still waiting on back ordered and delays. Still, there's no ETA on when they're actually going to start. They were supposed to start in June, but it's just so hard to get parts nowadays that they have no idea when they're going to come in. The equipment building is complete. We'll call it 99%. We're still waiting on the electronic door openers that are back ordered. And when they did the quote for the building, they forgot to include the building's landing. So they finally got us a quote on that, and I sent that up to New Mexico DOT to see if we can amend the grant to include the landing for that building, which was a 20-foot, is it 20-foot landing? 20-foot landing for all our heavy equipment.
Where's that landing going to be located?
Right in front of the buildings.
Okay.
The terminal floor project, where they're going to replace all the VCT tiling in the lobby and the entrances. They finally got the VCT tile in last week, and they're expected to start the project this week. I just got to get them Denver Air's current schedule, which has been out of whack due to crew time and aircraft maintenance. So they're giving me the most updated schedule. That way Nick Griego can work around passenger boarding times. The terminal roof project, we're still waiting on quotes so we can send it into New Mexico DOT for funding considerations for it.
How was this last rain event? Did we
I
have?
have not checked. I'm kind of scared to check, but I don't know. I will send you an email tomorrow on what it looks like.
It's a little concerning that we may be doing the floor before the roof.
Yes,
Seems like that might be.
it is, but where the roof leaks is not where the flooring is going.
Where does the new floor actually go?
It's going to be in the front entrance, the main entrance way, in the main lobby where the ticketing counter is, and through the rear doors in vestibule. And the leak is mainly in the TSA check area. That's where all the water collects.
Right on top of that expensive equipment, I guess, huh?
It's too close for comfort. For the parking lot expansion, Mark Carpenter Plumbing came out, and they got our septic moved over to where it needs to be. They ran the new lines for where the septic's going to be, and we're just waiting on Nick Grego to start the footings, the construction footings, so we can know where we need to put the electrical in the actual plumbing into the building. So I don't have an ETA on when that's going to be done. We're trying to get them out to actually look at it again and give us a actual time frame of when they'll get that in there. Anything to add on that? Okay. So our passenger employments, I just got the numbers at 5 o'clock for July, and that brought our total up to 7,444. It's not on this slide. Last month's employments were 1,248, I believe. Let me double check. 1,278. So that brings our yearly total to 7,444. Our highest employment for one flight was 46, and the only reason it was 46 was because due to the density altitude, they couldn't load up the plane and take off in the amount of runway we have. So if we get a longer runway, then we can fill it up in the heat. Aviation fuel sales, we're down about $30,000 for last month over the previous month. But we did a total of $105,696.01, and we sold 18,763 gallons. So for the year, from January 1, we are at $1,067,553 of fuel moved through the airport, if that makes any sense.
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Harris, how does that number compare to last year?
We have surpassed it almost double.
Okay.
So,
So year-to-date, fuel sales are double, or give or take? Okay.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
the amount, yeah. So, because there's two parts. The gallons sold, we are kind of even, but since we bumped up our fuel price, we're getting a little bit more, and with the self-serve.
Okay, okay. So the amount of fuel moved is about the same as last year?
Yes.
Okay.
And you said we were off by over 30,000 this month. What do you contribute that to?
Fuel price. We're not seeing the traffic that we were seeing in March. And even in February when we didn't even have self-serve. But right now, on the next slide, it'll show we are significantly cheaper than the region and the national. So yesterday we had a Citation X come in who normally would have stopped at, do you remember where he said he normally stops? He's on the cross country from Arizona to Savannah, Georgia. And he says he normally stops somewhere else, but he came to Clovis because our fuel prices. So we fueled him up. He took 775 gallons. And he took right off, left. So we're being noticed for cross country flights, which is what we really want.
Sure.
So the 30% decline in fuel, was that people just not flying?
Yes, it's a lot of people not flying because of the fuel price.
Okay.
Because at the beginning of the year or last year, we were at what, $3 or something, $2, and people were just flying and flying and flying. Now we're up at $5, $6. No one wants to fly.
Does Denver Air Connection, do they buy pretty much exactly the same amount of fuel every month?
No, they've been sporadic. When we were using the Aviation for their fueling, they weren't getting the discount that they thought they were. So now they buy fuel direct from us, and they get that negotiated discount that they negotiated with us when they first came in. So now I'm working on getting a fuel purchase agreement with them. That way we can get them to buy over 500,000 gallons a year.
Wow.
So if we negotiate that, and they will want it, they've asked for a lower discount, but if we can get that negotiated and we sell them 500,000 gallons of fuel, kind of makes up the difference. So we're in talks with them about that now, and we'll
Okay.
bring that up when
Thank
that time
you.
comes.
You bet.
Okay. The 26th Special Tactics Squadron did some jumps with involving C-130. They did static line jumps and what do you call those other ones? Free fall jumping. I got the pleasure of watching them get thrown out of that aircraft, and it looked interesting. But the one thing that came out of it was there was no injuries, no reported damage, but we, for the first time in the history of Clovis Regional Airport, we landed a C-130. And that's big news because on our report, our yearly operations report, we show an aircraft outside of our normal category, which makes the FAA looks at it as we can handle more than what they're advertising that we can handle. So now that we have that on our numbers, we can petition the FAA to give us a longer runway, a heavier capacity, which I plan on using. So, and then I got a picture of the C-130.
Do they plan on coming back to do this?
It's hard to say. It all depends on their training cycles. I know the C-130s, they do low approaches all the time, but this is the first time they actually put wheels on the ground.
Okay, thank you.
And they are very welcome to come back. On to our annual FAA inspection. Last week we had our FAA inspection, which checks out to make sure we're doing what we're supposed to do in accordance with our 14 CFR Part 139 certification, which is the commercial service certification. So we have 5 discrepancies, which are pretty, I don't want to call them small, but they're pretty small compared to what we get inspected on. Our biggest hit was training, as far as our quarterly fuel storage facility inspection training. It was missing some materials. So there was parts that should have been inspected that wasn't getting inspected because it wasn't in the training material. So to fix that, he sent us all the new training materials and even some that he developed himself, and he went over it with me to show me exactly what I was missing. So I have that training. I'm going through that training and getting that together. So next time I won't miss those things. I would say our major hit was on our signs. We had some signs that were delaminating. they're layered signs, the location signs. So they're layered, and it's like a plexiglass, and then they put all the graphics on the front and then on the back. So those signs were, when they were ordered last, I guess they were too big for the sign, and they were bowed, which caused the heat and everything, caused it to start peeling away, like peeling off tape, basically. So we got hit on that, and we just got to buy new signs that actually fits the fixtures. So that's a pretty easy fix. We got hit on some things on our fuel farm. Some of the plumbing was missing placards. He said those were required, but those pipes have been like that for years and years, and nobody ever caught them. So I looked it up in the International Fire Code, and he is correct. So we got those signs ordered, and we'll be able to put them up. The self-serve skid was not grounded. They grounded the canopy around the skid, but didn't ground the skid itself, which I didn't catch. So we got hit on that. But right now, that's grounded. We had Norris Electric come out. They grounded the sign, and for the last two, the emergency shutoff is supposed to be 20 feet away from the dispenser. We missed that, so we got hit on that, and that's been corrected by Norris Electric today. Well, they came out yesterday and today. And then the emergency fuel shutoff sign that's above the fuel shutoff is supposed to be 7 feet. So we had all that corrected yesterday and today. So all of those are corrected. And then another thing we got hit on was training for our self-inspections. And that's partly due because we didn't catch what was happening to those signs. So he hit us on training. So we got a little retraining going on. And, I mean, these are minor discrepancies in my opinion. But, you know.
For sure. Sounds like you've got it well under control.
James, with the inspection results, is there ever any benefits to like having a perfect slate, or I don't know, any negative feedback that you would get from like the FAA or anything like that?
If you have a zero discrepancy inspection?
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
Just bragging rights,
Okay,
basically.
all right.
Yeah, they don't give you an award or anything. It's just bragging
Yeah.
rights.
Extra funding or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate you taking care of it so quickly.
Yes, sir.
That's great.
The maintenance guys, they were on it. They were right there with us with the inspection, and we had another discrepancy, but we fixed it so fast he couldn't write us up on it. So the guys did a great job.
I was at the airport the other day, and it was like 30 minutes before Denver Air Connection came in on the evening flight, and your pickup. Do you run the runways before they land, or what does that pickup do?
At night, we're required, when there's a commercial flight during nighttime hours, we're required to do a nighttime inspection of the runways, taxiways, and anywhere that aircraft's going to go. So every night when Denver Air comes in at night, we always go out between 7:30 and 8:30 and do a quick inspection before they land. That's just to make sure there's nothing on the runway, there's no animals out there, there's nothing crazy going on, so they can come in safely.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, James. Your report is always in-depth and very well appreciated. We've got no old business. We're moving into new business. We're going to discuss recommending the memorandum of understanding with TSA. And so, has everybody had a chance to read that and see anything that needs to be changed, modified? It looked pretty basic to me, pretty straightforward. So do we have a recommendation for approval? Is that what we need?
Yes, please, Mr. Chairman, members of the Civil Aviation Board. And the reason it is like this is, of course, we took the building that was outside the facility, the TSA are going to be using just the inside, and we're going to be letting them borrow the conference room, so we're just not going to charge them at this time. And they have agreed to that, and as we move forward to construct a new terminal building, then of course we'll revisit this as part of that process. Thank you.
I move for approval.
I'll second it.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the memorandum of understanding with TSA. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. It passes. Next is the discussion and recommendation regarding monthly fuel billing. Mr. James, can you educate us, please?
Yes, sir. Simply put, I want to bring back monthly billing. It's been a hot topic for years at the airport about the monthly billing situation. When I arrived here, I realized that with the point of sale program we were using, it just wasn't efficient for us. It was a lot of paperwork, a lot of, just mess. With the new point of sale system, FBO director that we're using, we take the paperwork away. So let's say, Mr. Chairman, you come in, hey guys, fuel me up, I'm going out. We can fuel your aircraft, and we save it into your account on that website, and then at the end of the month, we run the reports. It automatically sends you an invoice with all your statements, all your month's invoices, and then you can pay it that way. The one thing that it doesn't do is allow you to pay it online. So you'll have to call in, or you can put a card on file and we do it once a month. Or the program is 10 times easier than what we've had before. So now we have the capability to actually do a monthly billing without the headache. So I think it's important to bring that back for all the tenants and businesses. But monthly billing won't work on the self-serve. Well, actually, I can run monthly billing on the self-serve. So, because we got these proprietary QT cards. So if you want to do a monthly billing and you want to use self-serve, you just swipe that card like a credit card. It goes automatically on your bill, and then we run it the same way. So I was wrong on that one. We can run self-serve on monthly billing.
Is there any disadvantage, Mr. Chairman, from your standpoint as a pilot, doing it that way?
No, not at all. I was under the impression when we had this conversation before that the city really didn't want to be in the financing business or the collection business. And so that was the reason for requesting the credit cards to be on file and charging people at the point of sale. And so I guess I would like to have a better understanding of, we went to that system, and did that not work? And did we get a lot of pushback from our tenants?
That part I don't know. I didn't have any idea about that.
Okay.
My whole concern of getting rid of the monthly billing at the time was it wasn't beneficial for us. It wasn't easy for us to run this stuff because the guys would have to go over, grab all the paperwork. We'd have to go through all the paperwork, so with it being automated now, it's so much easier. Because right now, that's what we're doing for Denver Air because of the whole fuel thing we just went through with them and Aviation. So I said, let's run it like this, and we'll use it as a test bed for bringing back monthly billing. And the way the guys are doing it, I just ran Denver Air's, I just ran their report. It automatically emails it to us. They send us a check, and we cash it at City Hall. So it made this program made everything that much easier. And I guess the only real issue is the collection side of it when someone doesn't pay their bill. Now we have to go after them, and we got to do this. And so paperwork-wise, it makes it easier on us. And some people, one of our tenants, he actually prefers it. He's adamant about it. He's like, and I don't have a problem with monthly billing. I mean,
Is there an easier program that, cause I don't know anything about this, is there an easier program that handles like the collection aspects? Where it's like, you can press the easy button all the way around, or is this just a negative to any sort of system that you're gonna use? I have no idea.
Yeah, it's, the only time you really get into the collection aspect is when someone's, I'm not gonna pay it, I guess we would use the same avenue that the city does for their billing, however they do that. But we can also say, you've been late, for 3 months, or even after the first month, if you haven't paid your bill by the 15th of the month prior, there is no more until you pay forward. So, there's a lot of thinking to go into this, but I just wanted to bring it back up that we have the capability to do it effectively now.
Can we do that and require a credit card on file so that at the end of 30 days, if you haven't received payment,
We could.
can run those cards? I guess I'm
Good.
just trying to think of the best interest of the airport, and
I think it can be set up that way.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Civil Aviation Board, I'm just coming into this conversation, and I was just wondering, as a pilot, I mean, do you find it's easier just to pay at the time that you purchase, or would you prefer, or have we asked other pilots, aviators that use the airport and the fueling system, what their preference is, rather than just a couple of people? Have we done a?
Yes, when we did away with monthly billing a year ago or 2 years ago, we had a lot of pushback. Not too much, but there was some unhappy pilots about it. And Lee, did you get anything from anybody about it besides the one?
There was some pushback, but a lot of them just, all right, whatever, here's my card. So, we do have one in particular on the field that I talked him into getting a AFFuel Pro card. He don't like it, and he don't want to put a credit card on file. So, and he don't want to come to the FBO and pay every time. He just wants to get a bill once a month. So, but for
And
the most
he's
part-
good at paying.
sure.
But in that respect, if we do it for one, we got to do it for all.
Sure.
And then, Mr. Chairman, members of the Civil Aviation Board, Mr. Harris, what happens if what recourse does the City of Clovis have if somebody does not pay their bill?
Well, first off, we cut them off of monthly billing, and then I let finance handle the rest of it. Whatever, I'm not sure what finance does when someone, isn't paying their bills, but I would assume they'll fall back on what finance does. I mean, of course, we'd send them letters and contact them and let them know, but other than that, I don't know how finance does it.
Right. At least I don't know how you file a lien or anything on a gas bill.
I mean, we can overlock a hangar, and then we end up in a legal issue as well. So I like the concept of providing our customers convenience and being flexible, especially for our corporate customers and those that buy a lot of fuel. And so I like that, but also, again, don't want to put the city in the financing business or in the collection business unnecessarily. Once we've already made the change, our tenants have already provided credit cards and are used to a system. And so that's the questions that I have in my brain. Is there a real benefit to the city specifically to go back to monthly billing?
I don't think there's a benefit to the city. It's more for tenants. Just a convenience, I guess.
Can we poll our tenants and ask them how many want that service?
Yeah, we can try to do that.
Because we may find out that it's just, to Lee's point, one or two, and it may not be necessary. And then in the instance of a corporate account or something along those lines, well, I think we could have them fill out a credit app and put a little bit more teeth into it.
Okay.
Sounds like a good suggestion, Mr. Chairman. As I hear this being debated, it's one of those issues that I feel like I don't need to weigh in on. How, we want to offer customers as many options as makes sense, but I do have some concerns about putting undue burden on the city. If there is a collections problem and if it's working as it is now, and maybe don't mess with it. But I like your suggestion to actually check with in the spirit of customer service, check with the customers and see what they might prefer. Explain to them that it's an option you're exploring, right? And see what they have to say.
There may be some things we're not seeing as well that are major benefits.
Okay.
So,
James, have you seen it at other airports, city-owned, running a similar system?
All the airports I've worked at have been private FBOs, so I don't know. I don't know how they did business.
so
Mr.
let's
Chairman, members of the Civil Aviation Board, we'll check with the customers at the airport and see what their preference is and come back to you next meeting.
Wonderful. So we'll table that and bring it back up next round.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Any other new business or topics of discussion from anybody? Yes, ma'am. Mrs. Burrows.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the Civil Aviation Board. We have a couple of exciting things that are going on at the airport that we'd like to share with you. Mr. Hewitt, could you put that picture up, please? And then can you enlarge it a little bit if you could? And Mayor, I don't know if you'd like to talk about this. This is next Monday's activity. I can talk about it.
Sure, you can talk about it if you like.
Gentlemen, the City of Clovis has received LEADER funding. That's the Local Economic Development Act funding from the state of New Mexico. We are partnering with the state and EPCOR Water to build a water transmission line to the airport to provide future water supply, secure water supply. It's going to be 15,680 feet of 12-inch PVC line, which is the blue line there that you see coming from County Road E, from an existing 12-inch transmission line that EPCOR has. And so we're excited about that. We received $2 million plus dollars from the state, and then EPCOR is providing the rest of the funding for this project. So next Monday afternoon at 2, the Secretary for Economic Development, Alicia Keys, is going to be here in Clovis and is going to attend a groundbreaking at the airport. And I believe that you have all received an invitation to attend that groundbreaking as you are able and available. And I'd like to invite the public to come and also participate in that. This is a huge boon to the airport. We're really excited to have this water secured for us that EPCOR is going to provide, which will allow us to grow our airport and move us forward from an economic development perspective. So just like to invite everybody to that. If you have any questions.
No questions. If I may, Mr. Chairman, I just want to add to this. As Ms. Burrows explained, this is economic development money. This is state LEADA money that the city was successful in securing. About $2.13 million of state money being brought in and invested here in our community, and just creates a whole lot more opportunity out at the airport for economic development. When we dream about a industrial park and those kinds of things out at the airport, obviously we need to have a good water supply for that. And so this is just a very exciting project. Grateful for the funds to be able to bring those in to be invested in our community, but then for the opportunities that it creates with our airport. Very exciting.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for the updates and all the work.
Thank you. And then the other item that we're excited about, we'd just like to share with you and the public, is we're ramping up with our Wings and Wheels, which is scheduled for October the 1st. between 10 and 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're meeting to get that all moving forward. It was a tremendously successful event last year. And the reason why we did it was to showcase the airport for the public, to give them a sort of open day, if you like, to come and enjoy the airport and see what we're doing. We're working with various organizations to bring various airframes to the airport so we can showcase that, and all sorts of exciting things that we're going to be doing this year, following, lessons learned from last year. If anybody out there in the viewing audience would like to participate in this in whatever capacity, whether that be as a sponsor or a volunteer or have a booth, we would welcome that. Please contact the city manager's office, and we're just really excited to be doing this again this year to promote the airport. And we'd like to invite you all to come out and join in the fun as you are available. Thank you.
That was just a great event last year. It was fun. And how many cars do we have show up?
201?
Yeah, more than 200, probably about 230, something like that.
Wow.
It was a lot of cars. We were we were amazed.
It definitely exceeded the expectations.
Yes, at every level. And so we're more organised this year. Vicky's been working with the vendors to make sure we have plenty of food this year, and drinks and so on, and we'll have lots of activities for the kiddos, and just get everybody engaged in aviation and excited. We're reaching out to Civil Air Patrol and the Model Airplane Clubs and all the other groups that are affiliated or interested in aviation, and the Air Force Base. We've already submitted an application to them to have airframes to come out to the airport. So yeah, we're excited about it.
Get another C-130 out there.
I'm hoping. I'm going to ask.
I love it. Good stuff. Thank you guys very much for the updates and the hard work, and lots of exciting things happening at the airport. If there's nothing else, we will be adjourned until Tuesday, September 6th. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.